I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm just sitting there doing jumping jacks. People are running into me. They're fucking using the Janimba teleport. Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. What the fuck? Pew 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 pew. The recruiting emote does nothing. I've got 3 people running into me, but they're not trying to get on my team. Good job, Dimps. You really helped me out. Hey, what is going on, my fellow godlies and Xenoverse enthusiasts around the world? I am Vance from the Warframe God Build series and Xenoverse God Build series, and I'm just chilling with Beerus, the God of Destruction, up on a random rooftop somewhere. No, but seriously, today I'm going to be taking a look at the Frieza hybrid beatdown build, which is something that caused a significant delay between episode 4 and here at episode 5. Distinctly because there was a lot of things that happened. The free DLC came out, the paid for DLC came out, and I had to siphon through a lot of stuff and play test and get him up to level 85. It was a mess, on top of everything else that I was dealing with in my personal life and Warframe. So here we go, finally we're taking a look at it, and I can confirm that this build is really, really good. The only issue I will state early on is that if you are not confident in your CQC combat, then you might want to overlook this build because it is geared towards people who are not afraid to get up close and personal. If you are confident in those abilities, you will excel with this build. So taking a look at his stats, I of course went with max health because that's always important. That way you can take a little bit more of a beating. With max ki and max stamina both, I have them there specifically so that we have enough, just enough, to be reliable in a fight. With basic attacks, I'm going to pour as many stat points into this as we can because we want our normal basic attacks to do loads of damage. Like, we want to be able to get up close and personal and knock their teeth down their throat. Now, when I check out my equipment, I have chosen to use the QQ Bang that boosts your health, your stamina, and your basic attack. It does subtract from Ki Strike Supers and Ki Blast Supers, and the only one that really hurts us here is the Strike Supers. It would be a whole lot better if we could find something that doesn't negate Strike Supers so hardcore, but our basic attack is going to be through the roof because we put points into it with our stats, and we're also benefiting from the QQ Bang. With the Super Soul, this is very important, specifically for this build. I will show an alternative, but I do recommend this for both PvP and PvE since it tends to do a lot better. It's the I've been saving this Kaioken. It's the new SSG SS Goku Super Soul. When the Kaioken is activated, you boost the amount of Ki restored by a very large amount, you boost stamina recovery by medium, and then you boost normal attacks by medium. Are you seeing the pattern here? Normal attacks are going to be very punishing on this build, and because you're boosting your stamina recovery speed, you're barely going to lose any stamina at all with Kaioken, and then when you're boosting the amount of Ki restored, you're always going to have stuff to combo with. This is an ingenious setup to use with Kaioken because you basically can use Kaioken for the remainder of the mission. You can stay in it indefinitely. So let's get straight into the movesets. Now for the distance attack, which I always have a move that's themed around chasing people who like to run away, I went with Emperor's Edge, not because it teleports me to where they are, but because it's an attack that I can hit them with anywhere across the map. Like, they can be anywhere. As long as I can target them, I can throw this at them and they most likely won't see it coming. Especially if you're fighting somebody who likes to run, you can throw this at them and they usually won't see it coming, because the only indication you have of it when you're facing up against somebody who's using it is the character putting their arm up in the air and then tossing it down real quick, and a fire trail just bursts right beneath your feet. Sonic Rush is one of the new combos that was added with the DLC, and it is great for terrific damage. I mean, you can follow this up with one of the Frieza Race's normal attacks. When you do the rush attack and you do the basic normal one that uppercuts them and, you know, plows them across the map and then hits them downward, it's always great if you can follow up with a Sonic Rush. If they're close enough to the ground, you will knock them to the ground, they'll hit the ground, and then as soon as the Sonic Rush hits, it relays them back into another combo. Rise to action is going to be something that you're really going to need if you're having to zip out of their attacks too much. For instance, if you're having to use too many snap vanishes and you're running low on your stamina, you might want to consider breaking the distance with them, knocking them away, and using a rise to action, using up your ki to get this, because if your stamina breaks, you fall out of Kaioken, and then you're going to have to repeat the process all over again. Super God Shock Flash is something that I put here because I always put a counter move here. I always have a counter move ready to go, because there will be instances in which there may be blocking or they zip behind you, and this is always a great method to deal with that, to always put a counter move here. For ultimate attacks, I'm using Burning Spin. I don't use this too often. I primarily use this in PvE because you can do a lot of damage and you can, you know, chase somebody down and run them over with it. Burning Spin could be used in PvP. You just got to be careful about when you time it, because it takes a little bit to activate, and because you're dealing with more intelligent players when you do PvP. They'll really try to get away from the Burning Spin, and I think that it's kind of a big waste of ki if you do Burning Spin, unless you break their stamina, in which case you're going to murder them with this move. Same thing with Neo Tri-Beam. Neo Tri-Beam, this is the best time to do this is probably when their stamina is broken or they're running away, because this will track them. It will keep them locked. Once you hit them once, they're prone to getting hit more and more with it. All you got to do is hit that one time and they'll keep getting hit over and over again. And as we already discussed, as you can guess, I'm using Kaioken. My evasive skill is the hyper movement. I am primarily using this because a lot of people like to lock me into Ki Blast. They like to use Kamehamehas and whatnot on me. And what I'll do is I'll use hyper movement, which teleports me straight behind them, and I'll be able to break their stamina from there and then unleash my full wrath of this build upon them. This is incredible for PvP. It will do really, really well in PvE. So it's just a matter of using it properly. Now, in terms of alternatives, because I know that people love to use the golden form of the Frieza race, I did prepare a separate build in which I am not using the same Super Soul. Instead, I am using the gold represents the new me, which is Golden Frieza Super Soul. It boosts normal Ki Blast, which will make you very effective if you want to spam your charged ki attack, which is pretty much the Death Beam. It's unique to the Frieza race. Every time you hold your energy attack, you will shoot a Death Beam instead of doing your standard Ki Blast. And for moves, the only thing that I changed here is Turn Golden. And I will say that I don't think that this build is as effective as the Kaioken build, but because you may be stubborn and you want to use the golden form over anything else, who am I to say differently? So if you learned a thing or two from this video, it always helps if you smash that like button down at the bottom, comment, subscribe, share to your friends, talk about this, and leave your feedback in the comments section. Let me know your experiences with this build, because I'm dying to know if anybody can get it to work as successful as I do. So that's it for my commentary, and until the next time, this has been Vance signing off. Here's some gameplay. Peace.